Hello and welcome to this online class of English 410. Due to the governor's stay at home, stay safe order, we will not be meeting in person for this class. I know originally in your schedules as you registered for classes, this class was designed to meet on Tuesday nights and be a hybrid class with the rest of our learning taking place online. Because of the COVID-19 virus, we will be doing all of our learning online. So it's important to familiarize ourselves with the online learning platform, which we're using Canvas. And I do want to walk us through some of the resources Canvas provides. As this is an upper division class, this is English 410. I'm sure all of you are very familiar with Canvas, but this may be some of your first times in an entirely online class. So I do want to take a moment to kind of walk us through some of our processes here. So as we take a look at our English 410 class, do keep in mind that everything we'll be doing will be conducted online. So if we go into our announcements here, at the beginning of each week, I'm going to be sending out an announcement. So on Mondays, do make sure to check the announcements tab. It will walk you through exactly what we're going to be trying to tackle during the week. So it'll tell you what assignments are coming due, what kind of concepts we'll be discussing, what kind of readings you're expected to complete. And so do take the time to check that out. I do have a welcome message for you here in Canvas. So I've got the syllabus linked for you. I've got some screenshots of different ways to view your assignments, and I have a discussion of your required textbook. So you do need to have Management Communication, a Case Analysis Approach. It is a lovely book, dense, but lots of good material in here. Normally I try and avoid assigning textbooks if possible. However, this particular book has a lot of really excellent examples of the kind of writing you might be required to do in a management situation, particularly in professional communications. If you're working in an office setting, engineering setting, science-based settings, these kind of management communications can be very useful to you. And so I do want to give us the opportunity to have that book, to have those examples in place so that even after this class, you've got a really excellent resource to work with. In the bookstore, the book is a little more expensive, but I want to make this as affordable as possible, right? And so I bought my book for $11 on Amazon, used. So if you don't want to go to the CBC library, don't tell, or the bookstore, don't tell the bookstore that I said this, but it is much less expensive on Amazon. Mine was $11 if you buy it used. So do take the time to kind of click through, see if you can't find a cheaper resource like that. The APA handbook is helpful, but I will be linking a lot of online style resources, so it is not required at all. You'll be fine in the class without it. So do check the announcements. It'll orient you to what we're going through each week. This course is designed so that the assignments are fairly self-explanatory. I will be posting videos in the modules tab periodically if an assignment warrants that level of discussion, but most of these assignments have enough detail that you should be able to walk through it just based on the prompt. So if you click on our first major assignment, the major assignments are denoted with numbers here. So the first major assignment in the class, the big chunk of points, is going to walk you through your assignment. And so I've got lots of links for you here to help you be successful as you look through what is going to be required of you. Some links about ethos and error, some newsletter formats, even an article PDF downloadable for you here. And then I've got the requirements of the assignment broken down on this nicely filled in area to call attention to it. A little thing we're going to be learning about as the course goes through is the visualization of our text, how to get people to read exactly what's most important. And I'll be trying to demo that for you in the class as well. So we've got some requirements there and then some tips for being successful. So everything you need to be successful in this assignment is linked for you here in the prompt. I've also linked the rubrics for you here so you know exactly how I'm going to be grading your work. So as you create it, compare it to the rubric. How does your creation match up with the standard that I will be using to grade it? That'll prepare you in a really meaningful way to get the most amount of points possible. This is going to be true of every assignment that you see in your assignments tab. So do make sure to orient yourself, read through them carefully so you know exactly what we're looking for. We will have a few discussions in this class. Most of the discussions are going to be about case studies you're going to be reading about in this textbook. And they will help us understand this managerial writing approach in more depth, give us a chance to benefit from the perspectives and experiences of others. And so very important to invest in those discussions as well. I'm trying to keep the assignments minimal in this class. I want to have some heavy hitters. You'll see in the assignments we've got some 100-point assignments. Those are the big ones. There will be some short writing assignments, but I want us to really dig into the big ones. And I know that during this unprecedented time in history, we have many calls on our time, whether we're having to homeschool our children, whether we're working extra shifts, if we're involved in the medical community at all. This is a very high time-intensive moment in history. And so I want to keep the busy work as it is to a minimal. I've tried to design this class so there really is no busy work. Any assignment that I give you is designed to scaffold, to build to the next big assignment. So if you need to prioritize your time, if you know that you're going to be very busy and that time is your most valuable commodity, right? Do prioritize these big point assignments. The smaller work, these points do add up. So make sure to give it your best effort. But if you must prioritize, do so with the big writing assignments. And as we get into our syllabus, we do have a late work policy. You may submit work late in this class, but there is a 10% point deduction for each day an assignment is late. So if it's a 100-point assignment, you turn it in 2 days late, the maximum amount of points you can earn is 80 points, right? Because it's 2 days late, 10% per day. You can do the math. After 10 days, I do not accept late work because then we'd be getting into negative points, which seems counterproductive. So up until 10 days, you may submit late work for partial credit. If you want to submit late work, please send me a message in Canvas or via email so that I can correspond with you, answer any questions you might have, and make sure to be on the lookout for that as you submit that late work to the gradebook. The last thing I want to call your attention to is the Modules tab. It is going to be visible to you by the time class starts. I'm working on it this week as we finish up our spring break to get modules built for you. The modules will have some examples of the assignments. The modules will also have some recorded lectures clarifying any confusing or vague points that students might be running into. So be on the lookout for modules. It will be continually evolving throughout our quarter together as we get into each new project. And that is pretty much the rundown on our class. The final thing you're going to want to check is our calendar. The calendar will walk you through due dates for the assignments particular to our class. So if you click on the calendar, my calendar looks very busy because there are many classes visible on it. Let me get rid of those other classes and we'll just be looking at English 410. This will walk you through what assignments are due. And so you can see that as our week starts, we're going to have a diagnostic exercise you're going to be working on, and then an introductory letter so I can get to know you and get to see your professional writing style. Then as we get into the next week, we're going to be working on in-text citations and building toward our first major assignment, which is the newsletter. You're going to be reading through case study number 1 and discussing the ideas it holds. So lots of good things coming our way. Do make sure to check in on this calendar at the beginning of each week, as well as checking in to our announcements to make sure you stay on top of things. And that's a rundown of our class. I'm looking forward to having all of you in class for this spring term. Do reach out with any questions. I'm here to help, and I look forward to getting into written communication with you. Stay home, stay safe, stay healthy, and reach out. I'm here to help.